Hi, my name is Kumari Sky, and I am here today to share a yin yoga pose tutorial, the dragon pose, which is essentially just a lunge. But in yin yoga, it's just an amazing deep hip opener. It works the iliac, psoas, hip flexors, and it can even be really helpful for sciatica. And there's lots of variations to really get in there deep in the hip. So I'm going to show you all the different ways. So the front view is simply like this. So lots of different versions. The side view without any props. So this is the side view. And notice that I'm really letting gravity have this hip. Most people will enjoy using some props in this pose. So I'm going to show you all the different ways. So first, I'm going to talk about high flying dragon. High flying dragon. So you're going to step the leg forward. Now, if the back knee is bothered and the padding of the mat or a blanket isn't enough, an amazing way to help it is to just lay a folded blanket and bring the shin on the blanket so the knees kind of hanging off and then stepping forward. So this is the high flying version. Just going to have the hands on the leg. If you want to add a little more oomph, you're going to lean back a little bit. This might be too intense for some people, so you can always have the blocks to hang out on. But the main idea with this one is having more of an erect upward spine, so you're really targeting the hip flexors and the iliac psoas. So this is the high flying version. And usually holding that one for a minute. So with the dragons, you can mix and match. You could do the high flying, the low flying, baby, twisted, all for 1 minute. Or in your practice, you could just do the high flying for 1 minute and the baby dragon for 3 minutes. You truly can mix and match depending on how much you want to target your hips. For this pose is pretty sensational for most people. All right, so let's just say I'm protecting this knee because it's too intense. So back to the high flying. This is the low flying. You could use your blocks at this level or this level. So now I'm leaning a little more forward. In general, we want to have the knee right over the ankle, so that's something to look for. Some people can even put their hands on the floor. Next version is called the baby dragon. So you're going to open up your leg and bring the hands down. Again, another place for blocks if you need to raise the floor up a little bit. It's okay if this knee starts to wing out a little bit in this pose. Some people will even want to come down to their forearms and they might use blocks, or they might even go onto the floor. Okay, so that's the baby dragon. Then we have the winged dragon. So you're down low like this, and you're gonna walk your foot in a little bit and then open the leg. So now there starts to be more of an edge on this side, maybe even in the inner leg. And maybe holding just for a couple minutes. The high flying and the low flying and the baby, you can hold for like 3 minutes at least. But this winged one, you might want to do a little bit less. And then there's the twisted dragon. So you can just come here and just allow that left hip to sink down and look over the shoulder. And then there's the overstepping dragon. So this is where you would bring your foot back, and then we're gonna have the knee come way past the toes. Again, you could use blocks if you need the floor a little higher. And this part, you're definitely still gonna feel it in the hip flexors of the other side, but this one's really good for the Achilles tendons. Of course, if there's any knee issues in discomfort, you would skip this one, or you could try placing the folded washcloth behind the knee as you're doing the pose. You just have to feel your way forward. And then there's one more. There's the fire breathing dragon. And so I'm going to give you the side view for this one. So here I am in the baby dragon. This one is just lifting up the leg and then coming down to the forearms. Then there's the twisty version. So leaning over and catching the heel or the top of the foot. So those last two can tend to be a little more yang-like. So you would only hold them for 1 minute. And keep remembering that the idea is to relax the muscles as we practice our yin yoga poses. Great counter poses for the dragons are downward dog, some cat-cows, or child's pose. And in this pose, the stomach, the spleen, the liver, the gallbladder, and the kidney meridians are all activated. And like I said before, you're going to want to feel your edge, mostly in the front, or the leg that's in the behind part. So whatever leg's in front, you're going to want to feel your edge in the back leg. But it's not wrong or unusual if you do feel it a little in the front leg. So the hold times, as I was saying, can be anywhere from 1 to 5 minutes. It just depends on where you're putting it in your sequence. If you're just doing a single dragon, if you're doing a flow that's working on your hips, you might do the dragon for 2 minutes, you might do swan for 2 minutes, and then shoelace for another 2 minutes. So that is the dragon pose in yin yoga.